In this video, we will talk about Unity, and we will talk about Universal Rendering Pipeline, which is a particular tool that will help you to work with, for example, also this shader graph here, which is pretty similar to other application and which is not available in the standard Unity package at the moment, but you can also activate it, and I will show you how to do that. You can also start a new scene and have this universal rendering pipeline already installed. I will show you everything in just a minute. So you see here I can use this graph just like in other 3D software, and these are also PBR, so physical base render material. And also let me show you before we start, for example in Unreal Engine, you can see here I have this node graph editor, which is really handy because I can see all the textures, I can add nodes and manipulate in every single detail my material. So this is standard in Unreal, but it's not in Unity yet. I think that they will do this in the near future also for Unity. But let me show you from the beginning. So let's start from the Unity hub. So when you first launch a project in Unity, and let me also close this one because we're gonna make it together. So I will close this level and let's create a new one together. This is another one. Okay. So when you first start your project in Unity, you say new, and if you go here, you will find many different, let's say, templates. Now, one of these is the standard, which is 3D with extras. And if you scroll down a little bit, you will also find this universal render pipeline. Now, this is already set up for you. You don't need to do anything. So if you just want to do the quick way, you can use this. But what if you have a scene that you are already working with? So let's make this example to go with the standard 3D scenes with extras. So I will create that with you. And this is the standard scene with extras we can work with. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to get the plugin. So basically we go to the window package manager, or the package, call it how you like it. Okay, now you need to be here in Unity registry, where you can look for all the different plugins and package that you can install. And let's just click here in the search bar. Let's click and type Universal RP, so Universal Rendering Pipeline, and say install. Now this is gonna take just a few seconds, so be patient. Sometimes it takes a little bit to respond, but it's basically downloading and installing this stuff, so almost there. And also this panel, sometimes the package manager takes a few seconds to respond, so again, be patient in these passages. And there it is. Now what we should see is that the install button will be gone and that it's gonna say here up to date. Okay, now you can see everything here. I can close. Now this is a pretty complex package, so if you want to know more, just look for all the details and the documentation on the official website. I'm just gonna show you a couple of things, where how to activate it and just how to use the graph editor. So now we have downloaded and we have to activate it. So how we can do that? We need to go to the, well, let's just create a material just to show you what's gonna happen. So I will select this one here and I will look for the material, which is this drywall painted material. I can use also the search bar in the project panel here, looking through and seeing the assets. Now this is the one that's on the bottom, and this is what I want to use to do this experiment with you. So if I go to edit and go to render pipeline, now this is the new one that will let you convert materials. So I want to upgrade the selected material, so just the selected material, and go proceed. Now what happened here is that this has turned like purple, and this is strange. So why is doing that? Basically because it's using not the render pipeline that we want to use. We need to create that, and we need to, let's say, activate it. So to do that, I can still be here in the assets. Well, you can place this anywhere you want. In this case, I will place it just right here. Right click and create a new one. And I will create a rendering, there you go, node, universal render pipeline, pipeline asset. And there you go. Now this is gonna create, again, we have to wait just a few seconds. It's gonna create a couple of scripts that we need then to drag and drop, and I will show you where. So let's wait, it's working, there you go. Now we have these two new files. Now where we have to place this, we need to go to the edit project settings, and here in the graphics panel we have to go here to scriptable render pipeline settings. It's telling us there is none. So here I want to drag and drop this one like that, or also I can just click on this little circle and get it from here. So double click, and there you go. Now it's installed, and now look what happens into the scene. Now everything it turned purple except that material that I have turned before. So basically this is the only one that is working right now. So what we need to do is just turn everything into this new render pipeline. So if I go again to edit render pipeline and say upgraded selected materials, we upgrade everything now. So upgrade project materials. It's gonna take just a little bit, and it's gonna upgrade everything for you. And now you can work with this new tool, with this new render pipeline system. Now to show you how the shader editor works, I will create a new node. So again, you can choose any folder that you like, or you can keep it here in the main folder. This is up to you. Now I will use this one. So you go to create, and you go to shader, and now you're gonna have more options that you had in the standard Unity project. So in this case, if you want, I want to use PBR. So if you want to use PBR as well, you are welcome. Otherwise, you can also investigate other systems. Now I can call this, let's call this PBR shader. Okay. This is gonna create this little asset. So if I double click here, it's gonna bring me to that material editor, which looks like the one in Unreal Engine, but also in other software. And it works with this central node. This is the preview. You can scale it also a little bit. It takes a lot of space. You can move this anywhere you want, maybe into another screen, or keep it here in the interface. You can dock it if you want to the interface, or you can leave it floating. And well, basically what I can do here, I can change, for example, here in the albedo, this is the main color. I can change it. And if I want to use a texture, I can go and create a new node. So right click, create node. Let's look for texture. And in this case, I just want let's say I want a sample texture 2D, and I'm gonna use this channel. Now, the ones that work with these systems in other software, they will be familiar. They will see something that looks familiar. So here is where I can work with all the channels. If I want to assign a texture, I will click here on this little circle, and let's apply, for example, this ground. All right, and this is one. Now I can create also another one. I can copy, I can paste, I can do a lot of stuff that I can usually do in other applications. So sample 3D, yeah. So if I want to delete, I can press the delete key. I want to Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, copy and paste. I can do all sorts of things that I do in other similar software. And this one, I will bring it to the normal. So I will get also this normal, which is called ground normal. All right. So you can see here the material starts to show up. And now I can save the asset and close everything. Now, if I want to apply it as a material in my scene, I cannot do this directly like that. So I will create a new standard material. So create material and call this PBR ground. All right. And it's doing some stuff. So let him work. Okay. Now I will click and drag this. Let's say I want to place it there on the top. Okay. Now I will take this node and just drag it and drop it right here where you can see that you can apply it. And there you go. So that's your material. Now if you want to modify that, you can go back to your shader editor, so double click and you can do whatever you want. So for example, let's try to disconnect. Well, you can delete a node, so let's hit delete, and now it's gonna show up like this. Of course, you have to save each time you make a change, so save, and it's gonna show right there. And that's it. So this is just one of the tools that you will be then ready to use here when you activate the universal render pipeline. So thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in similar topics, just type what you're looking for. For example, PBR, you're gonna find some videos about PBR application software. For example, I suggest you give a look to Armor Paint, which is a software to create textures and materials, really realistic textures and materials. And this is a guide, for example, on how to install Armor Paint. And also you want to have a look to Substance Painter, which is another really nice software to create materials and textures. And finally, also, I will suggest you Marmoset Toolbag. It's another similar software. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.